And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to today's edition of the Tuesday Telecast. I'm sorry that we are both an hour early, but not quite, and a touch late. Anyway, sometimes technology just has us needing to go with the flow, and that's what we're doing today. So, backstage, I have my friend and special guest, Yvonne Dam. And Yvonne is going to talk about, I hope, her journey as a coach who loves what she does and is there for the CEOs, the visionary CEOs, the service-based leaders who are changing the world. And in supporting them, she has a mission to change the demeanor of peace in the world, to be supported and end all wars. And that is right where I'm at. So I would like to welcome Yvonne. So Yvonne, let's bring her into the house.
Hello, Lydia. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, Yvonne. I am so happy to have you here. And you are talking to us right now from Spain. Is that right?
Yes, Barcelona, Spain. Yes.
So what brought you to Spain? Is as far as, was it an energetic choice or was it a business choice?
It was actually a love choice because my love got a new job here, and then we followed. And I must say, the energy here, well, you've experienced it, but the energy here is quite exquisite. It is very grounding. So I just came back from New York. I arrived in Spain and I was like, and we're back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel blessed with the energy here.
And the energy in New York City is pretty high peaked, and it's got a specialness to it too, but it's very it's very pitchy. It's very high peaked. And so grounding energy is something that you work with a lot. Just to meet you, you have a way of grounding people in and of yourself. So, tell me about your path, because you are just making a difference for the people in the world who are showing up to make a difference. And so you're doing that cyclical thing in which you help support them, and that helps them show up more. And so tell me about how you came to do that.
So there's a lot to share, but let me start with the beginning. I am actually an international tax lawyer, and I don't think there's anything more linear than being a lawyer. And especially, I started working for PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a big accounting firm, but also they do a lot of agency work, consulting. And there I learned a lot of things about, professionalism, showing up, servicing the clients, a lot around productivity, but also about how to uniform yourself to fit in. And in the end of the day, I've done a lot there. I held leadership positions in finance, HR, sales and business development back in New York. And I did a lot of change management where we made companies perform better. But I kind of lost myself in it because I was trying to fit in and trying to be the uniformity which basically I wasn't. And then when I broke free, I have been coaching executives since 2004. I knew I wanted to serve business owners and help them to perform better. And what I found when starting my career is that somehow the people that I can serve best are the ones that are different. They are very often the visionaries. They are very often people who have a different way of thinking, a different way of seeing the world. And they are all amazing as they are. But unfortunately, because they don't fit in the uniformity, and then again, who does, but they are very clearly not fitting in, it fuels their success because they do things differently in an awesome way. So that's amazing. But then again, very often there is still something that makes them hold back or makes them not stepping into the next level yet, because they feel like, and if you ask me what I do, is I basically help them embrace their own amazingness, which then frees up a lot of their energy, their power, gives them more acceptance, and with that, they lift off. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's in the way that you do that. It sounds so simple, and it is sort of simple, but it has to do, I think, a lot with trust and with them actually trusting you. So so you sense that there's the trust of you, and that's how you have that relationship with
Yes.
people?
I think trust is critically, and also for me, what my clients tell me that sets me apart is the non-judgment.
Mm.
Because we're all being judged the whole time, and if you are perceived different, we're all different, but some people feel a bit different than others,
Right.
and you have constantly that like, then you need someone who just accepts you the way you are.
Right.
Because
Right.
if
Then you
there's someone, then you can accept yourself the way you are.
right. Yeah. We really need to be able to be witnessed, I feel. And once we are witnessed, that's being accepted. And then we can actually be ourselves and be authentic, and not having to show up with some sort of a shroud, but be able to show up as we are. And the less shrouded we are, the brighter we are.
Yes. Yes.
So what I want to ask you about now is your vision of what these people are doing in the world.
Well, in short, I feel they make the world a bit better. And it's really depending, of course, on the specific people you talk about, but
Sure.
always they have something special. They bring something special. They bring something different that in the convenient ways people didn't come up with. And because of that different perspective and that different way of service they put in the world, it is so much needed.
Yeah.
And it's so you can already feel it, right? The joy. Oh, this is great. And it's being able to bring that to the world in a way that people understand it. And that's often the difficulty, because how do you translate it so that the majority of people get on board, not just the few. But I really feel we need those visionaries to let go of the status quo and to bring that that joyful change, and to make the world a bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. So each of these people, and kind of a lot of people on the whole, are having trouble at first just by themselves being as bright as they are, but we all want to actually do this stuff, have our visions, have our those we want to serve. And that's kind of what this channel is all about. The Joyful Path is about people who have placed themselves on a joyful path and are lifting others to it. So um how did you how did you lift yourself to the joyful path? Do you have any stories to tell?
Oh gosh. Um, well, I always wish it was so clear and easy, but it
Right?
wasn't. I have a tendency, because I love what I do and I'm very eager to help people. So I have a tendency to want to do more and more and more, and kind of get lost in work. Um, and but that's not why I started my own business. I didn't start to work more than I did in the corporate world. I did it because I wanted to work less and be with my family and have time on my own and have more freedom. So for me, there is a constant need to realign and readjust with what it is I really want, and to have that North Star, so to say, but not just having that North Star, but constantly re-evaluating, what am I doing? Is that the shortest, the quickest, the easiest way for me? And what else can I stop doing? It is for me never the question, what else do I need to start doing? It is always, what do I need to stop doing? And a lot of people are afraid to ask that question, because we are led to believe that if we do more, if we work more hours, then everything, all of a sudden will achieve more. And I really don't buy that. I really
Mm,
know that if you focus on certain game changers, that's in itself is enough. And what a lot of us need besides that is joyful time, is resting time, and it's not so much going on and on and on. And oh, this isn't working. Well, let me do that, and then that, and then that. That's a common misconception. It's what a lot of my clients struggle with, especially because they are so bright and thinking of a new idea and another one and another one. And then before you know it, oh my word, what am I doing now?
right?
And that's the thing. And you get excited about everything because everything is great, but then nothing is happening. And my journey has been to constantly realign and constantly find better ways. Some call me, I'm the queen from the shortcuts, and I'm proud of it. You know, I love to find ways to make it easier, to make it more fun, but more rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a comment about getting lost in work. I can relate. What else can I stop doing? And I agree. This is gold. There's there are all sorts of good things that we can do in the world, right? I mean, and there's or things that we can appreciate, and not saying no to something that's good doesn't mean you're rejecting what's good or that you're criticizing what's good. You're just saying that that's your good thing and my good thing is something else. So that choosing of a couple of great things and letting go of a lot of good things. Acknowledging that they're good, and giving them their blessings, but they're not yours to have. This is just such an important concept to get. What is your thought on how we get there from adversity. I mean, sometimes we have to actually push away the adversity, not just the good things. They're I think that they're there, and we can't do anything about it. We just have to go with the flow and take the blessings as they are and learn from them. But how do you think this affects the path?
I love the question because I think, I don't know about you, but I feel it's very, very current. It's what a lot of people right now are going through. So there's a couple of elements to it. For me, when you change or when you're up leveling, you always go through a period of adversity. There is always something you need to do that actually you don't like, and it's uncomfortable. That's part of change. We always forget it because once we've done it, we're like, woo, but when you're in it, you go like, this is rough. I don't like it. And that's why you need to push through. So my mantra in that moment is, I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. So you
Yeah.
acknowledge the fact that you are not in your happy spot, but you know it's worth it. So you push through. That's one element.
Mm.
And then something else that is happening right now, I feel, in a lot of, my community at least, and maybe you relate to this, is where when you're up leveling, right? So you hit a plateau, or hey, I want to go different direction, or I want to meet different clients, or whatever it is you're doing, or maybe you're saying, I just go for something bigger. Then very often what happens is that, let's say you're going for different clients, right? Then very often what happens is that it's almost as if the universe, God, hears you, and the current clients drop away, which is a good thing, because if you look at it from an outside perspective, hey, you wanted new clients, so room is made for your new clients. But then as a human, we go like, oh, I'm losing my clients, I have no more income, what do I do? And then we are very tempted to go after the ones we had, and to work hard, and to really get into the, oh no, I hold on.
Mm.
The message is, listen, you are going through something new. So right now you are in the space where you need to surrender and you need to trust. If you can trust that the good thing is happening, because you already are resonating with it, because you already are seeing it, you need to surrender right now to what is, without doing the extra work, without holding on to things that you wanted to let go of, and trust that the new thing is coming. And that period, that like the eye of the storm, is so difficult for many people. It's so uncomfortable. Yet if you can trust and surrender, the good things will come even quicker.
Wow. I think there is a part of that discomfort is our tendency to have our societal expectations just at the forefront. And I don't know about you, because you grew up in the Netherlands, but I grew up here in the United States, and we're very into that idea of hard work. And I'll catch myself saying, I've worked hard to, and it's not, I mean, there's part of the effort that is beautiful. That's the stuff that I can be proud of. For example, as opposed to the things that I was just born with. I'm not proud of those. Those are just me. They're just I'm pleased, I'm grateful, but I'm not proud of them. The things that I've worked hard for that are aligned with me, then I'm proud of that. But we can get really into the weeds and just go with the hard work. And our schools promote that you work hard and you will have your dream. And eventually it translates to work hard. And then if suddenly things drop off, we go, and it's so interesting because no matter what, we're getting exactly what we're asking for. We the miracles are everywhere. We help to make them happen, but we don't think that we're doing it because we think, "Oh, but I'm supposed to be making money or I'm supposed to be working hard." But lo and behold, whatever that thing is that's happening is because you were aligned to that, even if it's, bad traffic, like, well, I'm gonna, fight the bad traffic. Okay, the bad traffic's there for you to fight. It's like, this relationship we have with ourselves and the relationship that we have with the energy around us. And just, like you said, just, come down to the source and just release to it, surrender to it. And it's so touchy for so many people, and I think that discomfort's okay. Because I think if we're too comfortable all the time, we're dead.
Oh yes.
I
Yes.
Tell me about growing up in the Netherlands and how that translates to the idea of work, or either your experience or your experience of the Netherlands itself. Yeah, how does that translate to work versus purpose?
Well, it's interesting because in the Netherlands, we, and especially the town I grew up in, which is Rotterdam, there's a it's a work ethos. It's like a harbor city, so it's like, okay, chop chop. There's even a saying, "Don't talk, just work." That's the saying. Um, and then, and this is very interesting from an American perspective, especially, is that in general in the Netherlands, people will tell you, if you act normal, you are already acting crazy enough. So
Normal.
don't do anything crazy, because then you're even more weird. So, and as an entrepreneur, that basically is meant like, ooh, how, I'm not doing anything, So I work hard because that's what is, societal norms, but I can't show it because I'm told not to show off. Anything that will say, "Oh, I'm boosting," is said, "Oh gosh, you're such a show off." So it's a very contradictory feeling, because on the one hand, you're led to believe you need to work, no slouching, no relaxing, go.
Yeah.
Although it is, compared to the States, I would say the hours are more limited.
Mm.
Not for everyone, but it's not, it's not, "Oh, don't do 12-hour day." It's more like, less, but it's still work. And then on the other hand, it's like, but never show, never tell, never talk about it. So it that's a bit of a friction area there, that I know I struggled with in the beginning.
Mm, mm. Yeah, and that struggle has led us to where we are. If hopefully, if we've actually embraced that struggle and released to it. So I've got a question here, and that is, see if we can get it up here. Any practical tips to be an essentialist? Essentialism is the idea that we only focus on the great things and let go of the good things, including in our time, in our space, in our energy.
Thank you for explaining that, because I saw the question. I was like, okay, but then I really love the question. What I think, and I don't know, but I really love the question. What I love for you, and for everyone who resonates with this, is to get into your zone of genius. Now, it's not my thinking, it's from Guy Hendricks, and the book he describes it in is called The Big Leap. But let me explain it how I see it. He basically says there are 4 ways of working, and there are 4 stages. Your zone of genius, your zone of excellence, your zone of capability, and your zone of incapability. I might use the wrong terms, but that's what it comes down to. Very quickly, incapability, you shouldn't be doing it. So for example, don't ask me to fix a car. I know nothing about it. It's going to last me too long, right? Capability, I can do it, but it's not great. So for example, don't get me cooking. You don't want to eat it, trust me. You get it, right? And now we get into the danger zone, the zone of excellence. And a lot of people, a lot of us, they stick there because what is happening in the zone of excellence, you're great at it. You're doing a good job. Most likely you're making even more than average money with it because you can, but it's still work. Now, if you get to the zone of genius, is that where you are almost, and I what you said, Lydia, it's you're almost born to do this. I truly believe that if you live your purpose, if you work there, you work from your zone of genius. It doesn't feel like work. Very often you would even do it if you could do it for free because you love it so much. And here comes also the difficulty. First of all, because it feels so easy, so natural, you almost feel like, why would people pay me? Or why would people pay me more? Because it's so easy. And the reason is it's only easy for you because it's your zone of genius. If you get there, then I would be my invitation for you to drop everything else. And what I mean by dropping could also very well be hire someone else to do it for you, because a lot of the things are still essentials. Don't do them yourself. Focus on your zone of genius, and then true things are start to change.
Wow. You know, I have that. I mean, I've said about the hard work thing, but there's this what I've always called the path of least resistance. And I used to just give myself the hardest time about following the path of least resistance. I was like, oh, look what I've done. I don't want to do this. I should be doing this other thing. But there's so much wisdom in following the path of least resistance. And I mean, as long as you actually feel there's a path there, we could be kidding ourselves and saying, well, the path of least resistance is, this other thing that's actually hedonistic, perhaps. A little hedonism in our life is okay once in a while, but if we do it too often, it has diminishing returns. And so, that can be that tricky place. But when you talked about the zone of capability and the zone of incapability, I talk about this zone of incompetence, and that sort of encompasses both of them, because I can do that, but I'm incompetent at it. I'm not even, like, I'm smart enough for it and I can work through it, but it's so inefficient. And so that's that stuff that I feel like so many entrepreneurs do. And we think that we need to do it in the beginning.
Yes.
And what do you have any advice for that place where people who have this zone of genius but they're working in their zone of incompetence because they think they have to, because they're trying to start this great thing? What do you say to that kind of person?
So for me, it's very clear. You need to start focusing on your zone of genius as soon as possible, and do more of it. You're very right that a lot of business owners tell themselves, but I need to do everything, or I need to understand everything. Even like, I don't want to, I have to understand my website because I have to tell someone else to do it. Nuts. If you don't want to be in your website, don't do it. And especially with the global economy, that's so easy to, reach out and connect with other people who are true experts. So there's almost no reason anymore to hire someone to do the things you can't do or you shouldn't do. Now, the only downside of this, and this happens too often, is if you hire someone so you can do the zone of genius, and as an entrepreneur, you can serve more people and you can make more money, the money you need to outsource. Where it goes wrong is if we change one zone of incompetence with another. So it only works if you truly focus on your zone of genius and you truly reach out to people who you can serve and who you can help, because then you will start making money so you can outsource more. But too often we are kind of programmed, oh, this is now going on, so then I'm doing something else, which again isn't any money making. And that's when people get into trouble, because they go like, I don't understand. Well, the simplicity is you're not focusing on what you do best. And I'm not saying sales is the one thing you should focus on. If you don't like it, you can even outsource that. But there is something in your business that you are great at. So you need to basically get everything in place around you so you can focus on that. And then also the money will come in because you're amazing at it. But don't do something else. And that's the mistake many people make.
Well, there's the idea that we have to be seen doing this thing that we're genius at, or people need to know, or we need to reach out. And we're given that message a lot in society. This is, you must be seen, you must be heard, you must reach out, and if that's sales, that marketing is not our zone of genius, then and we're inclined to be in our zone of genius, and we are in our zone of genius, how do you see people getting past that marketing thing, if they're already aligned to their zone of genius, and they are great at what they do, and nobody knows they're there because they are not marketing and they don't want to market, and they, what's goes on with that?
So there are a couple of perspectives I want to share. First of all, even when I listen to you and I hear marketing and sales, I go like, right?
Right?
So many of my clients are the same. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like social media. I don't want to be screaming. That's not my thing. And I don't like selling because that's pushy. Now, if we set that aside, I heard you, but set it aside, then my question is always, do you love what you do? Do you love what I do? Yeah, I love what I do. Okay. Do you honestly feel that you provide the value you can in what you do? You do, right? Yeah. Would it be a problem for you to talk about what you do and what you love to do with someone like me or someone else? Most likely not, right?
Not a problem, we hope. Yeah.
No. So then basically you're selling.
Right. Well, right now, this is marketing. This is marketing you. It's marketing me. And am I trying to market? No, I'm just talking, but I love connecting to people. This is my jam. And it's not because I'm a social butterfly. It's that I really want to connect to people.
Yes.
So it works.
And that's what I always say. There is some way you love to connect with people. whether it is in person, whether it is through a podcast, whether it is going to networking events, whether it is talking to your friends and family, there is a way that you like to connect with people. Look for that way, do more of that, and just talk about what it is you love to do. And then you have marketing and you have sales. You don't have to do things you don't want to do, because we can all feel that dreadful energy. Oh my God, I need to go live. I hate life. Don't do it. But if you love to talk to your friends, then go out to meet a friend and another friend and another friend. And this is the easiest way, which we often forget. It is just talking about what it is you do, loving what you do, and then find the people you connect with best in whatever shape or capability. And then you've tackled that as well.
Boom. I mean, that's exactly, do what's natural. Personally, I believe so strongly in grounding and making sure that we're present, because knowing what's natural, sometimes we get lost in all that extra societal stuff, all the people that we think we are serving, but we're hearing all this stuff come in and it gets overwhelming. Grounding and knowing, what's natural for us? What feels good?
Yeah, I
So
love that. And then it becomes easy.
yeah. So let's talk for a minute about the energy of what it is that you do and the energy of the people that you work with. How I'm just going to stop there. Talk about the energy. I'm not going to define it.
So the energy changes, right? And one of the things I very often hear is when people come to me and they see me. Sometimes all they want to do is just share and offload, and then they go away and they're grounded again and they feel better energetically. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes we have to do some true energy work, when it's deeper, or when there is truly something in the way, and we often discovered it with a pattern that keeps repeating itself, and you wonder, why does this happen to me again? I've done everything and yet here we are. Then it's very often a sign that there is something deeper underlying that we need to work on. So then we do deeper energy work. I feel very privileged. I always say I work with beautiful people. And then a lot of people get a bit offended, like, okay, are you only working with pretty people? But what I mean beautiful people. They have this special energy, and they are just beautiful inside out. I feel very blessed, because sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, I've got this annoying client. I really don't like it." And I was thinking about it, and I thought, I just have these, I've just honestly have these amazing clients, and I don't know what it is, but it is something certainly in their energy, that really resonates. Yeah, I feel blessed.
From a mindset point of view or perspective, we always have the best relationship with our mind. If we say, "Oh, I don't want any more of these annoying people," then for sure your mind will say, "Yeah, I don't either." But it just kind of accepts that this is what you're doing and that you're focusing on the annoying people. And when you're, quote unquote, annoying people, when we're aligned to oh, I want to work with, I love working with, I'm grateful for working with, and focusing on the beautiful people, that all the beautiful people come. And then from an energy perspective and a vibrational perspective, that the more that happens, the higher we are vibrating, and then we once again attract high vibrational people. And from a logical perspective, if you're talking about, if you're talking about this, then this is your natural way of communicating, of being with, of promoting yourself, then lo and behold, you're talking about the type of people that you will attract. If you're talking about dealing with annoying stuff, then you're gonna attract annoying stuff. Oh my goodness.
Yes, very true.
But, it's just all these different ways of looking at it, right? And when it comes down to it, it's really just, it all is kind of the same thing, whether you call it energy, source, grounding, mindset. You have to actually, I ask people, what do you love?
I like that.
It comes down to just that. You have to go into your heart and say, what do I love? Who am I and what do I love?
Yes, that's beautiful.
So as we wrap up here, is there anything that would be your key takeaway to progressing on the joyful path for someone that you're meeting for the first time? What would you tell them?
I always love to say my company's name is Amaze Yourself. Let me say that because that puts it in perspective. And I would love to say to you, you are amazing, and don't you forget about it.
That's beautiful. So if you want to work with Yvonne, her information is down in the show notes, or it's either there or it will be very soon. I'm in the studio right now. I think it's there, and it will be. Yvonne, thank you so much for being on the show and for talking with me, for talking with all of us, and sharing your beautiful soul, your beautiful wisdom, and your beautiful leadership.
Thank you for having me. My true pleasure.
And that was Yvonne Dam. And if you would like to be on the show, or you have somebody in your community that you believe has lifted you or is lifting others, somebody at work, somebody in your group, your community, whatever it is, please reach out, let me know. And if you liked this show, please hit like. And if you have not already done it, and you are on YouTube right now, then please ever so gently push the subscribe button. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week on the Joyful Path.